This is Including You, the new series from Lead at Any Level. Including You features stories from chief diversity officers and other executives who are creating inclusive cultures in their organizations. Our goal is to show what's working in companies just like yours, to give you the tools you need to keep pushing for progress in your own workplace. We want to create belonging and opportunity for everyone, including you. And now here's your host, Amy C. Waninger.
Welcome back to Including You. I'm your host, Amy C. Waninger, the Inclusion Catalyst. My guest today is Dr. Adrienne Lawson. She's the Senior Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at Pride Industries. The goal of Pride Industries is to create employment for people with disabilities in the pursuit of an inclusive world where people of all abilities have equal access to achieve their employment goals. Pride Industries currently employs about 6,000 people across the U.S. Dr. Lawson, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Amy. I appreciate the opportunity.
I am really excited to talk to you. I don't get to talk to a whole lot of folks in the nonprofit sector, and I don't get to talk to very many folks at all who work specifically in the industry of disability inclusion. This is going to be exciting. Sorry about my dog in the background. And we were just talking about that before the call started. And I'm curious, at an organization like Pride Industries, why is inclusion such an area of focus internally for the organization?
Good question, Amy. First of all, inclusion is a priority at Pride Industries because it's our foundation. Our mission is to create employment for people with disabilities. And sometimes in DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, people forget about people with disabilities. And since 1966, Pride Industries has stood for the inclusion of people with diverse abilities in the workforce. And so we believe that everyone has talent and that all people can make significant contributions in the workplace.
This isn't just your internal mission, this is your external mission as well. And I would imagine that there's a lot that goes into how you think about diversity and inclusion in an organization like Pride Industries. What are you doing right now that's working?
Right now, I have 3 initiatives, just say that. The 3 initiatives are employee resource groups, which we affectionately call ERGs, which a lot of people know about. Number 2, I am working with the Diversity Advisory Council. And like I said, I'm working with the Diversity Advisory Council. And also we have launched our first ever mentoring academy. I'm very excited about those 3 initiatives.
Dr. Lawson, tell me a little bit about where you are on your ERG journey, because companies or organizations are all over the place with the number of ERGs that they sponsor, whether their ERGs are grassroots efforts that are recognized by their leadership or whether they're leadership driven and pushed down through the organization. Tell us a little bit about the characteristics of your ERGs.
Sure, Amy. When I first started with Pride Industries, which was October 2020, right in the middle of COVID, the president CEO, who is Jeff Dern, he asked me to start employee resource groups. That was my priority. And since I had prior experience, it was an easy jump start for me. Currently, Pride Industries has 6 ERGs, the Black Employee Network, the Hispanic Heritage, Veterans, Professional Women's Network and Friends, Millennials, and People of Possibilities, which consists primarily of people with disabilities, allies, and friends. One unique aspect of our ERGs, which I developed, is ERG thought leaders. This is a new concept. These leaders represent each of the 6 ERGs that I mentioned. We gather once a month in a community of practice, and in this space, we come together as a collective to share current DEI practices. We also discuss ways to embed DEI within the workplace and how we can make an impact in the community.
But it sounds like these go beyond just affinity groups for employees into having a real impact on the organization as a whole. Is that correct?
Correct.
That's excellent. Now, help me understand, how does the Diversity Advisory Council fit in when you already have the ERG Thought Leader Council?
Good question. Well, the Diversity Advisory Council's mission basically is to advise and provide recommendations to our Pride Industries senior executive team We help plan, develop, implement, improve, and refine strategies toward meaningful diversity and inclusion efforts and initiatives. Currently, the Diversity Advisory Council is vetting 2 initiatives. 1 are Real Talk Dialogues, 2 are Diversity and Inclusion Awards. And so just to give you a little brief overview, I won't go too much into it, to give you an idea, because a lot of organizations are starting to launch Real Talk Dialogues. But Real Talk Dialogues is being created to bring Pride Industries employees together from different walks of life with different viewpoints, really to teach us how to engage in meaningful dialogue with discourse and respect around various topics that impact your identity, our diversity, equity, inclusion, and most of all, our societal issues. We already started unity circles, and unity circles were created because of past racial shootings, but we want to be more proactive and discuss various issues, not only in a state of crisis, but the purpose of Real Talk Dialogue is really threefold. 1, to help normalize conversations about identity, culture, race, language, gender, and other current issues. 2, we want to promote unity, awareness, engagement, and action as core concepts for open and civil dialogue around complex issues. 3, we want to contribute in creating a company culture that is favorable to the development of human potential through acceptance and mutual understanding, and not just compliance. The goal is to launch a pilot of our Real Talk Dialogues this fall. We're super excited about it.
I think that sounds amazing. And I would imagine that your mentorship program would dovetail nicely into this. Can you talk a little bit about your mentorship program, what that looks like and who's involved?
Sure. That's the third initiative, the Mentoring Academy. We're in our second phase of the pilot. And this is really my boss, who is Tina Oliveira. She's our Chief Human Resources Officer. This is her baby. She says, Adrienne, I'm really interested in us having a mentoring program. I really want to see more women in leadership and folks who are in certain positions to be able to advance in the company. I said, okay, great. I have the ERGs from our CEO, that's his baby, and then the Mentoring Academy with our CHRO. So I was excited about that. I had participated in a Mentoring Academy at a prior company. I was very appreciative of having this opportunity to launch a mentoring program. The mission, I'll just talk about the mission of the Mentoring Academy, is to develop staff to reach their full potential, create a culture of interconnectedness, and advance Pride Industries' mission. We have 2 goals for the Mentoring Academy. 1 is to accelerate a person's professional and personal goals, also to create an environment that values, recognizes, and support the essential role of mentoring and career progression. You asked me what's going well. For our mentoring program, we have increased the number from our first pilot to our second pilot. We have increased the numbers of our senior leadership participation. Because just imagine myself as a senior director, if I'm a mentor, who's mentoring me? So now we have our senior vice presidents involved, as well as our chiefs. I'm super excited about where the Mentoring Academy is going.
I think that sounds amazing. And I have partners who run mentoring programs, that's their business. And they talk about the connection, when connection is made and a personal connection is made, that really accelerates a sense of belonging in an organization. And all it takes is one really good relationship to really cement people in an organization. I think that's really important.
Yes, I agree.
Now, when you think about the initiatives that you have going and all the things that are going, I know participation numbers are increasing, but what else are you seeing in terms of things that you're measuring or anecdotal evidence that what you're doing is working?
Yes, you're right. Membership is increasing in our ERGs. You see the momentum. People seem to be more excited, more engaged. The morale has increased. People want to be involved. The one unique thing about the ERGs is that the senior leaders are involved. We have senior executives that are a part of each ERG. They even attend our ERG meetings. Also, we have an annual ERG retreat where our ERG leaders are recognized. I think that's super exciting, where The managers are invited to this virtual, of course, because we have ERG leaders in all parts of Pride Industries across the United States. And their managers are also involved. We invite the managers and they're able to recognize the ERG leaders in a way where they are appreciative of how more involved they are. They see a change in their leadership within their particular unit, and they're able to also recognize the ERG leaders. Also, we have more engagement in the community with our ERGs. We work in collaboration with our recruiters. When our recruiters go out to recruit in the community, we also involve our ERGs, not just the leadership in ERGs, but anyone who participates as a member, they're welcome to participate in the recruitment effort.
I'm sure that changes the way people view the company from the outside. When they see folks that look like them showing up at job fairs, showing up at community service events, those sorts of things, when they can see people, when you can see somebody that looks like you on the inside of a company, Absolutely. It really makes a difference in how excited you are to apply and how likely you are to accept an offer, wouldn't you say?
Oh, definitely. 100%. The studies show that 43% of people looking for jobs want a diverse environment. Yes, absolutely. That makes a huge difference. Plus, all the things that we have going on in Pride, a lot of companies don't have a mentoring program. A lot of people aren't recognized for being in the ERG, but we do have recognition, and people have the ability to make changes in the company, to provide recommendations, because people who are on the ground, they know what's going on. They are the ones with the solutions. And we've heard this before in organizations where leadership's making decisions, but they don't really know what the problem is. And that's the beauty of having ERGs.
It definitely changes the flow of communication in up, down, and around the company. And I think that's wonderful that you've got all of those pieces moving at the same time, because you're creating different chains of communication with your advisory council, but also with your mentoring initiative as well.
Absolutely.
It sounds like there's a lot going on and a lot to be proud of. What's next at Pride Industries relative to DEI work?
Good question, Amy. I thought about this ahead of time and wonder, what can I say? I'm just going to continue developing those 3 initiatives, specifically with the ERGs. The plan is for myself and the ERG thought leaders to publish a white paper. And also, once we publish the white paper, to present at a disability inclusion conference. Also, we're working on creating a DEI video. I'm excited about that, and increase our community engagement across all Pride Industries, because we want all locations to be represented. Another thing I have on the horizon is with our Diversity Advisory Council. We also want to launch Inclusive Excellence Awards. We want to recognize people for doing a good job in their jobs, actually, over and beyond of what they're doing. I'm excited about the Diversity Awards. And then the Mentoring Academy. We want to increase folks in our Mentoring Academy across all locations. Currently, we're in our pilot stage, and we have about maybe 100 people. We want to increase that. That's pretty much it. Just we want to make sure that what we have is sustainable. That's very important to me, as well as just to develop them. I don't want to have a lot of different initiatives in DEI. I want what we're doing to be solid, to be well done. We want it to be excellent in every part.
It sounds like you are well on your way. Dr. Lawson, thank you so much for sharing with us all the amazing things going on at Pride Industries. Thank you for your expertise, and thank you for your time today.
You're welcome, Amy. Thanks for the invite.
If you've enjoyed this episode, follow Lead at Any Level on LinkedIn and YouTube. Then join us for Including You video simulcast every Thursday at noon Eastern. Including You can also be enjoyed each week as part of the Living Corporate audio podcast series, available on all major podcast platforms. Learn more at living-corporate.com. Including You is brought to you in part by Lead at Any Level, a boutique training and consulting firm improving employee engagement and retention for companies that promote from within. Lead at Any Level. Leaders can be anywhere and should be everywhere. Learn more at leadatanylevel.com. Lead at Any Level and its logo are registered trademarks of Lead at Any Level LLC. The views and opinions of guests on our show do not necessarily reflect the positions of Lead at Any Level, Living Corporate, or the sponsors of Including You.
That's it for this week's episode of Including You. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like us and follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Don't forget to leave us a review and let us know what you thought of this episode. Be sure to join me next week when my guest will be Malcolm Glenn from MG Equity Consulting.